She was seen as one of Hollywood's flawless aristocrats. However, behind that legendary physique and bright smile lay a dark 10-year drug addiction, a thief stealing pills from her family, and the tragedy of a brother who died of an overdose. Welcome to Iconic Lives. Today, we will discuss the uncensored dark story of Jamie Lee Curtis, that massive sex symbol desired by the whole world, completely full of deep lies, hidden pill crises, and incredibly heavy traumas. Being born as the daughter of legendary actors Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh was not a blessing for her, but a very dark curse. She was not the fruit of a great love, but a desperate baby made to save a toxic marriage that was about to fall apart. When she was very young, her father ruthlessly abandoned them for a much younger girl. Growing up without true love, purely in the cold and superficial shadow of massive fame, opened massive deep wounds in her deeply sad soul. Her father, Tony Curtis, was extremely ruthless and indifferent to his kids. Jamie carried the terrifying weight of that missing fatherly love and deep rejection on her shoulders her entire life. When her father cut all his children out of his massive will before he died, this absolute final rejection totally shattered her fragile psychology. She was a huge star worshipped by millions, but her biological father always saw her as a highly worthless and totally unlovable excess. When she became a global star with the movie Halloween, she was now Hollywood's certified scream queen. Those terrifying screams she let out while running from masked killers on screen were actually the dark expression of the demons inside her. Those fearful moments in cinema were not just a role. Jamie was fighting a ruthless, bloody war every single day and night in real life, with her own inner traumas, deep insecurities, and the massive crushing heavy pressure of fame. Over time, she shed that innocent horror girl image and turned into a massive sex symbol that adorned fantasies and became Hollywood's most desired. Displaying her flawless body in front of the camera was an incredibly exhausting psychological torture for her. The heavy pressure of being that attractive woman the industry expected made her a ruthless enemy of her own body. The strict obligation to look flawless would very soon push her right to the edge of a deadly dark abyss. A cameraman ruthlessly mocking her under-eye bags on a movie set was the breaking point that turned her life into pure hell. She felt such massive shame and insecurity that she secretly got plastic surgery to fix this flaw. This simple, stupid cosmetic operation opened the dark door to a deadly drug addiction that would last for 10 whole years. Hollywood's highly ruthless beauty standards had completely poisoned her right in her incredibly fragile and deeply broken, sad heart. The powerful painkiller Vicodin prescribed after the surgery became her new and darkest god. When she swallowed the pills, not only her physical pain, but also the massive emotional pains she carried since childhood were completely numbed. She quickly became deadly addicted to these heavy pills. For exactly 10 years, she was a heavily drug-addicted Hollywood star, held captive by her dark secret, trying to survive by swallowing handfuls of painkillers every single day.
She didn't stop at pills. She mixed these drug crises with massive amounts of alcohol, creating a deadly cocktail. While presenting her bright smile to cameras, behind the scenes, she was a numbed woman whose soul was rotting and drowning in her own blood. These heavy chemicals were a thick, dark blanket covering her rejected childhood and the disgusting psychological pressure of being a massive sex symbol. She was slowly committing a dark and deeply sad, toxic, silent suicide.
Her addiction reached such a terrifying and humiliating level that she secretly began stealing heavy pills from the medicine cabinets of her own biological sister and closest friends. This massive Hollywood icon, whose wealth and fame knew no bounds, had turned into a desperate, sneaky, thieving junkie who betrayed her loved ones just to swallow a few more Vicodin. She completely trampled on her own moral values just to find the toxic poison she desperately needed to survive. During those long years married to her husband Christopher Guest, she managed to hide this dark drug hell from him completely and flawlessly. Hiding such a massive, deadly secret, even from the man she shared her bed with, created a massive sense of guilt and deep paranoia in her troubled mind. From the outside, she was a perfect wife and a successful mother. But in her inner world, she was a heavy addict, constantly lying, hiding, and trembling with the fear of being exposed. When her half-brother Nicholas Curtis tragically died by taking a massive dose of heroin in 1994, this created a massive earthquake in the family. As her brother's cold body was buried, Jamie knew very well deep down that her own end would be exactly like this. However, even this terrifying death and bloody tragedy wasn't enough to save her from those dark pill crises. That toxic claw of drugs was ruthlessly squeezing her fragile soul, even right at her poor brother's grave. Her greatest talent wasn't acting. Her real masterpiece was that flawless, healthy woman lie she made the whole world swallow. She shined brightly on red carpets, posed for perfect fitness shots in magazines. But when she returned home at night, she would swallow handfuls of pills and enter a dark coma. That bright and fake Hollywood machine flawlessly covered up her internally rotting body and collapsing psychology. She was literally a massive walking lie from head to toe. That famous and iconic striptease scene in the movie True Lies was the absolute peak of her body being brutally consumed by the whole world. While millions of men created dark fantasies looking at her flawless curves, Jamie was completely numbed behind that set under the heavy influence of intense drugs. That massive feeling of emptiness and deep disgust she felt while selling her body to the camera fueled her deadly and sick hunger for those heavy pills even more. In 1999, after stealing pills from her sister again, that massive sense of guilt inside her finally exploded. With a confession letter she wrote to her sister, she completely shattered that lie of theft and addiction she maintained for years with her own hands. The massive shame brought by betraying her family and exposing the dirty truth behind that fake mask of perfection hit her to rock bottom. Beneath that glorious fame, a pathetic soul begging for pills was slowly dying. A devastating magazine article she read about painkiller addiction became the biggest awakening in her toxic life. She realized with ice-cold clarity at that moment that she would die ruthlessly, just like her poor brother, who died of an overdose. In great fear and panic, she attended her first recovery meeting completely in secret. Leaving the massive ego of her fame at the door, she finally had to face and fiercely fight her own dark demons among anonymous drug addicts. After that disgusting hell that lasted 10 years, the night she confessed that dark secret to her husband was the hardest moment of her life. She turned from a flawless Hollywood star into a pathetic drug addict stealing pills from her family right in front of his eyes. The deep shame of confessing all her lies and thefts completely shattered her fake shell. This confession was both a massive destruction and the first, bloodiest step to escaping that dark, terrifying prison. After getting clean, she waged a massive war against Hollywood's toxic, aesthetics-focused beauty standards. She let her hair go gray, totally refused plastic surgeries, and ruthlessly shattered and threw away that fake sex symbol mask. By breaking those sick, anti-aging molds the industry forced women into, she fully embraced her true reality. She was now slamming her fragile self, which she hid with drugs for years, right into the face of the world in all its nakedness. Jamie Lee Curtis is a rare legend who managed to survive that ruthless Hollywood curse that killed her brother and gnawed at her soul. As iconic lives, today we expose the hidden thief, pill crises, and childhood traumas hiding behind that flawless, sexy body in all their nakedness. She is a warrior who fell captive to the dark secrets of the glittering world, but strangled her own demons with her own hands. Stay with the brutal truths forever. Goodbye for now, my friends.